Here we are with the system as it stands. Um, it has a primary and a secondary arm with a robot here at the end that will do the seeding and harvesting. So the way it works, this primary and secondary arm will go into the where all the plants are growing and where it's going to seed them. So this motor drives the primary arm, this motor drives the secondary arm, and here this is the positioner right here, or the rheostat or potentiometer that measures the actual position. And there's one here for the primary arm, and you can see it's kind of crooked. This is it should be like this, but it's like this. So tomorrow I'll weld all that up. I'm going to take all this apart and re-weld it so it's straight. Up here at the very top of the device is the Arduinos that control the motors and get temperatures and whatnots of the whole system. So right now I've got that connected. I will have a Raspberry Pi, but right now it's connected to my desktop, and all I have to do is just pass the database over, and it'll be able to just take over from there when I put a Raspberry Pi in here. So what I've done is I've been having a lot of problems measuring. If you can see this, you can see that this bounces a lot. This is Halauto communicating through the Arduino control, this control up here, to those Arduinos I just showed you at the top. So you can see it's communicating with this guy right here, and that's connected to those motors and to the rheostats. So you can see that it bounces. That's telling me the position. So I'm going to move the primary arm, and you can see that it's changing. 500. And as I move it closer and closer here, it goes 460. You can see it's right here, so I'm going to move it back. The secondary arm, this one right here, as I move this guy, it changes that one. Takes a while to actually get to where it's going. But anyway, you can see that it bounces a lot. And the reason it bounces a lot is because I cannot take out this power supply ripple. This is my oscilloscope, and what it is actually a system that looks at the electricity or the actual voltage that's coming out of this power supply right here on the side. You see it's got little fins, and that's supplying the whole system with 5 volts. And here I've got it set up as 5 volts, and I've got a ripple of 2 volts, so 1.5 volt. So it keeps bouncing up and down, and you can see the bounce right here. And it's very difficult to take that out. So the way I do it is in Halauto, I go ahead and use what's called a smoover. And these are my 2 smoothers, and they're connected. This is the Arduino. This is this guy right here. This guy right here is this control. When I click on it, you get this form. Now, it delivers its information to placeholders, which are just there as placeholders. And those placeholders go into smoothers. And when I click on this, it comes up with these guys. Now, you can see, let me see if I see, yeah, this input is changing. You can see it bouncing every so often. And over here, I have it set so that it takes 20 samples and then averages over those 20 samples by adding them together and dividing. And I come up with this right here. See how it's 470, 470. See how it's all smoothed out? It's not bouncing that much. So when which one is this? The primary. So when I move the primary arm, it changes the actual value. See that? 490. I'll come back, 496. And since it's got to take 20 samples before it actually shows its change, it takes a while for it to actually respond. So anyway, so it went from 466 to, what is that, about 490 or something in there. And it takes a while to get up there, 496 and 497. But you see it's not bouncing that much. And that's because this smoother, this particular control is taking care of smoothing out the values. So, you know, and all I have to do is just click them together and it'll go ahead and do all the work. So that's it. I just wanted to show you that the whole thing is working properly. And I'm going to move on to welding these arms straight tomorrow. And then the next thing here coming up will be, I have one or two things, either showing this in 3D on an Unreal scene, the one I've got created for the aquaponics, or actually start putting horizontal tubes I'm going to use to seed and set up the positioning system software. So we're getting closer to being able to actually do something. I have to put some heads on this robot though. I have to create the heads, 3D print some heads, and I've got some of them designed already, and some that seed, and you know, one, and it'll click the heads on automatically, so it'll position itself, click on the heads, seed, pick up seeds and seed, and one of the arms is set up to harvest, so it'll either cut the plant or just pick up the plant and move it and, you know, deliver it. So that's it. That's how far along I am.